Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining me today. It's Pip Topman here from queenpipcards.com. Today we are talking Christmas table favours or table place settings. So this, for example, you could use for your napkin and your cutlery holder to put on everybody's place. This you could have as your little treat instead of crackers this year. And this one you could have as a after dinner gift with chocolates, or maybe to give, in the UK we give presents on Boxing Day, and I know in other countries you give presents on Christmas Eve, so this could be your Christmas Eve little gift. So this is what we're making today. They all come from the hashtag Elfie stamp set, which is currently available from me through my store from Stampin Up. It's a gorgeous little set. It's got these 4 lovely images. I've only got 2 of them here at the moment, but we will be using 3 of them, plus a little extra present and some snow and a couple of really nice sentiments. You could have this on the outside and this on the inside. It's just a really nice set, and it's fun and it's different, and I thought, well, we'll do it in these lovely Christmassy but sort of non-traditional Christmas colours, because I love a bit of non-traditional. Okay, so let's get started with, which one should we start with? Let's start with this one. So I've taken my stamps and I've put them up on my Stamparatus because I find that really great for stamping, especially if you're stamping multiples. And here's a really good tip. If you know that you're going to need to stamp him into a circle shape, then what I do is I actually punch the circle out of a piece of cardstock, then I pop that piece of cardstock back into here, and then I can punch 100 of these and know that when I put my circle back in the cardstock, he's going to stamp perfectly every time in the same place. So that's how I use my Stamparatus for stamping multiple images at a time, but I also use it just for stamping. So I'm just inking him up with my Memento ink, because you need Memento ink to do your blending. Popping him down, pressing him down. Lovely. Look, so cute. Excellent. I've actually put him a little bit off to one side now because I like him with a little jaunty angle, and I thought we could put some extra rhinestones and stuff over there. So this is how we have him now, and now we're going to colour him in. And for that you're going to need, for in fact all of the ones I'm doing today, you're going to need these blends. So this is Smoky Slate Light, the Pool Party Combo, the Bermuda Bay Light, and I've popped in the Ivory there because that's a great skin tone. So I'm going to start with my Smoky Slate Light, and this is really going to be a quick colour. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing lots of snazzy blending for a long period of time. So just going to be, not that one, that one, there we go. Just going to whiz him through. Now I've given him grey hair, which seems a bit strange, I know, but work with me. It just goes with the colours really nicely. So, so we get over the fact that he's got grey hair. Maybe he's an old young elf. Maybe all elves have grey hair. How do we know? He could be a very sprightly young elf, but with early onset grey hair. And then I'm just going to use a bit of Bermuda Bay Dark, Bermuda Bay Light even, just in there. I always get my darks and my lights mixed up. And then, as you can see, I'm just using my little nib end for my blends. At this point I find they give me the most control in a small environment. Mixing in my light and my dark, just blending them all together. Okay. You can always go back and add a little bit more if you want to. Excellent. Right, so where are we now? We're going down to his collar. To do his collar in Bermuda Bay, and his buttons, and we're going to do his stripy. I've mixed this up a bit. I changed it up from the last one, but that's okay. You can make them all slightly different if you want to, and that's all okay too, because it's your elf. You can colour him however you like. So then with the dark one, just come in here under his arms, up here a little bit. He's going to be a bit darker up there. Down here, across here, and then come back in with the light. Just little circles help to blend it in nicely. Get a good colour coverage. I'm giving him light pool party pantaloons, I think. Just in there. Okay. And then we're going to do some of his face. Well, all of his face actually. So ears, head, just go round the eye. Okay. And I love this set because it's so versatile. Works for boys, girls, men, women. I think even your auntie would be chuffed to get a little elf. Elves somehow speak to our hearts, I think. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my Wink of Stella, because you need a nice Wink of Stella. He needs a bit of shiny. Oops. And I'm just going to brush that over the white areas. Now you probably can't see that at this point, but don't worry. His hat is going to be sparkly, and I'm going to show you in a moment. And just over the trim of his tunic as well, I think. I'll have a bit of sparkle on there. Whoops. Now, hopefully, you can see, which I don't know if you can see. Can you see? He's sparkling. Yeah, a little bit, hopefully. Right, now we do need to do the little bubbles on his feet. So I'm going to make those Bermuda Bay as well, I think. There. Okay, so there he is. Slightly different to this one, but again, you can make them whatever colour you want to. And then you're going to colour all of the others exactly the same. So I'm not going to bore you with me colouring in, even though I know sometimes watching colouring in can be quite relaxing, but it's much easier if you colour them in yourself. So I have here, I've stamped here the different one. This is the one with the stocking, so I said this was the 4th image. And then somewhere I have another no peeking. Right, here he is. I knew I had another one somewhere. He just needs a little bit more Wink of Stella as well. So again, just on his hat, just here, and his cuffs. And really I should have done his bauble, but we might just stick a rhinestone on that, so we'll do that. And I might just do a bit of him there while I'm thinking about it. So this one I've coloured exactly the same way. This is the little elf in a stocking. So cute. Right. So now we have all our images that we're going to use. I'm going to show you how we made each one of these. So let's start with our pizza box, because our pizza box is probably the easiest. So for the pizza box, you're going to need a piece of Feels Like Frost, designer series paper, of which it is at the moment back in and available, so fingers crossed you can still get it. So this is, you can choose any of the designs, I just happen to choose this one. And you're going to fold your pizza box up. You've cut this piece of designer series paper to 3 inches by 3 inches, which fits the top of the box perfectly. And just make sure you fold all your folds. That's it, that's it, that's it. Oh, and that one. Make sure your little thing comes out like that. And then make sure you take out these little tiny luggy bits down here. Okay, and as you can see, it's shiny. Sorry about that. And that's because it's food safe. So before we stick it together, I just want to make sure all the folds are in place before you attach your top pieces. We're going to just glue our DSP down. So you can use snail, you can use Tombow, whichever you feel or whichever you prefer. Tombow's going a bit gloopy. He must have been in the sun. It's got a bit hot. So we're going to pop that on there, nice and central, lovely. And whilst it's nice to do square upon square upon square upon square, it's also nice sometimes to just change it up a little bit. So I've punched him out, as I said, he's a 2-inch circle, and then I've punched out I've die cut out that with the 3rd largest framelit, a piece of purple posy, because I haven't used purple posy for a while, so I thought I'd use a bit of purple posy. And then we're going to sandwich between the two a piece of this, which is the mini striped ribbon, and this is the Bermuda Bay one, because it all nice coordinates and everything. We like that. So chop a bit off. Don't worry if it's a bit too long to start off with, we can always chop it down afterwards. Take that down. Stick that sort of generally across the centre of your circle. Then, using dimensionals, we're going to attach him above and below the ribbon. So 1, 2, and you know me, no soggy middles, although in this case, of course, the middle will have a piece of ribbon going across. So if you want to attach that piece, I suggest you use mini dimensionals, because they're just slightly thinner than their larger counterparts, and that means that you can put them on top of ribbon when you're using the normal size ones, and they should fit. So there's my tip for today for you, or just one of them. Okay, so then we're going to pop him down just like that. Hopefully, is that sort of straight? Yes, he's okay, isn't he? Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, then we trim this back up, make sure it's even. Trim that a bit. There we go. Get rid of that. And then, again, more dimensionals, this time all over, same size. One in the middle. And then he's going to go straight on top of the pizza box, and then we can put it together. Like fold it up and everything, and finish off just with a few. I'm going to finish off with some rhinestones. Now, I used on the other one holiday rhinestones. I have a confession, I've run out. I've used them all up, so now I'm using my standard rhinestones, but you know, that's fine because they're silver, they all coordinate in. I'm going to pop a couple out here, that one up there, another one over there. We'll stick one down here and one up there. And I know you're going to like, oh, so many rhinestones, but only 5. And it's a nice uneven number, so we like that. Right, so then folding these 2 pieces where you took the bits out in first. Okay, you're going to slot them through those 2 pieces, through the 2 holes at the bottom. Pop that in till it clicks. And then you have your pizza box all done. See, how quick was that? Fabulous, right? So that's the first one done. Second one done. No, I'm coming back to him. So the second one is our little plastic box. Okay, these are our little 5 centimetres by 5 centimetres, 2 inches by 2 inches. Okay. You have to take the cover off. Don't leave this nasty bit on. This is just to stop it getting scratched in transit. Okay. So you take all of the plastic sheet off and then it goes really shiny. And again with these, you fold all of the edges in so that you can get a nice crisp edges before you try and put it all together, because it's so much easier once they've been squished in, and then you can fold them together. Right, so to fold this one together, and I don't know how well you can see this, but in here you have a piece which looks a bit like that. It's got a cut-out piece and 2 flaps. Put that one in first, then the 2 side pieces which click into that hole, and then this piece which looks like well, sort of like a jar, I suppose, or some kind of vase. That goes in right at the end. So click both side pieces in. She says, come on, without the other one popping up. Why are you not going in? There we go. And then this one goes in like that. Ta-da. And then that folds that down and that holds it steady. Okay, so that's how you put the box together. What I've done next is I've taken some more pieces of the lovely Feels Like Frost Designer Series paper, and you're going to need 2 pieces, cut 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters, and then you're going to no, not cut 5 centimeters to 5 centimeters, that would be silly. So cut 5 centimeters by 15 centimeters, or if you're in the States, just under 2 by 2 by 2, and you need it just under because it's got to go inside the box. Okay, and then you're going to score it at every 5 centimeters. So if it's 15 centimeters long, come down to 10 and score, come down to 5 and score, and you do that with both pieces and you end up with 2 bits that look like this. And you think, well, that's all very well, Pip, but 15 centimeters does not go round a 4-sided box, and I know that. My maths is bad, but it's not that bad. You're going to pop these 2 in, this piece in like this. This is your front, and it's a bit fiddly until you get it in, and then you're going to need to take your 1/2-inch circle punch, and just before you slot it finally in, you're going to just punch out a finger hole, so that goes in there. Okay, then you're going to fold this piece over and you're going to attach some snail to the top piece. Okay, and you're going to slide that piece in, bottom, side, and then make sure that that fits into your top piece. Okay, and then glue that down. And now you have a box which is completely covered and you can't see in, hence the no peeking, because you could actually just open it and peek in. So now, popping that inside the paper, there we go. Now you have your little box, and it does look a bit yucky on the top because it's got the snail on, but don't panic because we're going to hide that with our no peeking. So for this you need your 2-inch circle punch, and you're going to punch him out, and he just fits nicely. Just about like that. Okay, and then I have taken the starburst punch and punched myself a Bermuda Bay starburst, and then we're coming back in with some dimensionals, and this time you want to make sure he's not going anywhere. There we go. So 1 layer of dimensionals on the top layer. And then because it's a box, it stands 3D, you don't want to just stick anything flat to it. So we're going to pop another set of dimensionals underneath this one. Make sure he's sort of central. Yep, looks good. So another set of dimensionals underneath, and again, because it's onto the plastic, it'll just stick, so that's fine. Don't need to worry about anything. There we go. And I like the starburst and the 2-inch because it's just going to fit the top of the box. It'll just pop over a smidge, but nothing too major. So line him up again. No peeking, cute. And then for this one, I'm just going to pop a little rhinestone on his hat. Oh, that made a satisfying pop, didn't it? Just the larger ones fit perfectly, like that. And then take some again of the Bermuda Bay stripe and tie it in a bow. If you're worried about your bow coming undone, you can pop a little glue dot underneath and just hold it there. It just depends on how good you are at getting it tight. This one is pretty tight, so I think I'm okay with that. And again, but as I say, just a little glue dot and that fixes that underneath. Jaunty. There we go. And then you can obviously wiggle it around and get it to be where you want it to be. Make sure that your ends are even. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so that's the second one. I mean, how quick are these? Right? They're not, and I'm not pre-prepping. Try saying that very fast. Very much. Okay. The next piece, this one, this one is going to take a little longer because I'm going to do a bit of fussy cutting. I know. This one uses the pillow boxes. Now the pillow boxes come this size, so you could just make one and pop a little guy on top. You know, just take a whole one if you wanted to, and stick him on top with some ribbon. But I liked the idea of making, I've never done these before, making little napkin holders and cutlery holders. Or you could just put sweets in, you know, it could be either. So I thought I'd give it a try. So you take one like this, these are 6 inches long. So you trim it on your trimmer, and you'll need to trim on, flip it over and trim both sides because it's quite thick because it's craft. Just cut it at 3, so you get 2 out of one of these. And then I've taken another piece of Feels Right Frost. And don't worry, by the way, if it looks a bit dodgy down here. So I've realised that some of these stripes do actually curve. They're not straight. That worried me for a moment. I was like, what? But it's okay. Now, the one without the hole, the one without the finger hole, is your front. And these pieces do not quite meet in the middle. All right, but we're not going to panic about that. We're just going to wrap it round like so. It's a tiny, tiny gap, okay? So we're just going to use some multi-purpose glue, and we're going to go right along both edges without worrying about the gap, because we just want to make sure it sticks, okay? And we're going to be covering up the gap. I bet you didn't realise there was a gap in the other one, did you? So just go in about, what's that? 1.5 centimetres. Well, yeah, 1.5 centimetres in. Oops, something like that. Because this just extends it and makes your cutlery holder big enough to actually hold any cutlery. Otherwise, it'd have to be fairy cutlery or elf cutlery, maybe, because it's quite small. Okay, so come in like so. Ooh, don't get it over your foil too much. And then make sure that's got a good crease. And then make sure that when you open it, it opens nicely. And then you can put the ends in when you're ready. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how I would cut out my elf, because I know some people really hate fussy cutting, but honestly, once you get into grips with it, it really doesn't take very long. And I don't go into all the ins and outs. I would just go a little bit around the edge, give him a little bit of a nice, almost like he was cut out by a die, but we haven't got dies for these, so we're just going to do him by hand because it doesn't take very long. And it gives you a sense of accomplishment. Now, I would say that obviously if you were doing a table set for 25 or something, you might not want to do this one. You might want to do the no peeking one, or the little guy sitting against a Santa's pole. But if you're only doing a couple, like for me, at Christmas there's only me and Sean, or Sean and I, should I say. So we can have this on our little lap trays as we do our Christmas dinner with Brussels sprouts, probably. There's always Brussels sprouts in our dinners, Christmas or not, to be honest. Right, there we go. How quick did that take? See, I told you it wouldn't take me long. And it won't take you long either. However, you can't just whack him on there and hold, because that's just rude. So I've got some Bermuda Bay cardstock here, and I'm just going to play, but I think that he will fit on, he'll stick over the top, but he will fit an everyday label punch. So I'm going to use the everyday label punch myself out a piece, and that's what I did for this one, just in case you're wondering. This no peeking one is punched out with the Timeless label, and then that mats beautifully onto the Bermuda Bay everyday label punch. So we'll pop him up on some, you've guessed it, dimensionals, but not his hat, okay, because his hat will stick over the top. Put that down there. Okay, just make sure he's nicely, you know, secured, as they say. And then, oops, maybe just lift him up a little. There we go. Okay, and then before we tie him down, I am going to put just a little, because I can, I'm going to put a little rhinestone, just a little diddy one this time, on there. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that looks cute. Now we're going to tie another ribbon, another piece of ribbon, And like, no, not another bow. Yes, another bow, but it's really simple, honest Injun. And basically, the more you practice it, the better you get at it. So you might as well just practice and then you'll be perfect. So tie it round, tie him over a little bit further over this way this time, I think. Make sure it's right at the edge, because we don't want to hide the nice little elf. There we go. And as I say, this, I really do love this set. Make sure that your ribbon is over. There we go. And when it pops open, it'll hold it nice and tight. So there we go. Do that. Bit smaller. Adjust as necessary. Adjust your seatbelt like this. I feel like I've come off an airline recently. Oh, I have, because I've been to Dortmund. Right, there we go. Where I had a fabulous time with my team on stage. Oh, just one of the best on stages I think I've ever been to. And that's saying something, because I've been to quite a lot of the European ones, so since I joined. There we go. So pop that down like that. Pop this one in like this. There we go. See, and you're like, oh, but you've still got the hole, Pip. Yes, I've still got the hole, but do not worry. That hole is about to be closed. We're going to stick on either side. Okay, not down the middle, because there's a gap, so it's not going to have anything to stick to. So on either side of the everyday label, we'll just pop that there. And then he can just sit like that. And then you just push those together, and then it attaches like that. And then no one's going to notice that there's a little tiny gap inside. So that's it. How quick was that? I did say it was a pretty fast, well, actually I didn't, because I wasn't sure, but it is a fast video. It's not too bad, 20-30 minutes, something like that. And you've got 6 lovely, look at that, so cute. Aren't they great? I mean, I think they would look great on anybody's table. So if you want everything that's on here, I've listed it in the description below. And it really does support me if you can purchase from my shop, because then that helps pay my wages. And then I can do more of these for you. So thank you so much for everyone who's supported me so far. It means everything to me, really. So, yeah, thank you. And I hope you like him. And if you so, I'd love to see ones that you make too. Have a fabulous time with them at Christmas. Remember #Elfie, which is a fabulous name for a stamp set, isn't it? So thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you again soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.